So before I start, I'm excited to announce that I will be organizing the Engineers Gambit chess tournament on November 15. And repeat, November 15 of 2024 is a great opportunity for all players to test their levels and test their skills and win some exciting prizes. So I hope to see many of you there. And the description, the registration form will be in the description. Now let's get into today's lesson. Okay, so choosing where to castle, king side versus queen side. Next scenario, attacking versus defending moves. Sometimes retreating is the best option, or there's times where you have to go for the attack, but you should also calculate that risk. Hi everyone, I'm Marco, an industrial engineer and an economist with a passion for chess. Today I want to explore a concept that is critical not only in economics and engineering, but also on the chessboard, risk management. Whether you are making investment decisions, planning a project, or deciding on your next move in a chess game, understanding and managing risk is key to making smart choices. So today's video is about managing risk in chess. Okay, so first and foremost, what is risk? In business, risk management refers to identifying. Give a second. Yeah, okay. In business, risk management refers to identifying, assessing, and controlling threats to a company's capital and earnings. Every investment decision or strategy carries a risk, whether it's losing money or gaining new opportunities. The key is to balance that risk with the potential rewards. Now, the risk in chess, every move is a choice between risk and reward. Sacrificing a piece might lead to a better positional advantage or set up a tactic, but it could also leave you exposed if poorly timed. Calculated risks are about taking chances that give you an advantage while minimizing downsides. In chess, this might involve sacrificing a knight to launch an attack on the opponent's king, knowing you have a strong follow-up. So let's see some examples. I will cover 5 scenarios today, and if the video gets enough comments, enough likes, I will make a second video with different scenarios. So first, I'm gonna. One scenario is a piece sacrifice for a positional advantage or an attack. The risk is if this attack does not work as planned, you could end up losing material or without enough compensation. Let's see an example of this. Okay, so let's see this position. Black here plays f5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, f5. Then white takes the pawn. And okay, it felt a little bit strange, but I think the position is fine. Instead of taking with the pawn on d5, he took with the rook. However, this is one of my games. I had this crazy thought that I can sack the knight. So because it would be force, correct? He has to take back maybe with a queen, but that's not possible because he can take the. I don't know what I'm saying. So if you give up the check here, let's see that line. Then he's gonna have to take back with a pawn, and I was like, oh yeah, this is brilliant. I'm gonna get the queen, but he has enough time to retreat or to move the king. He can simply go. Oh, so I'm gonna go rook f3. He can go king f8, and now I just don't have enough compensation. He can move the queen, and even if I take this pawn, I have no positional advantage. I sack my knight for no reason. So this is an example of a sack that wouldn't work. Fortunately, I didn't play in this. I didn't play this. I actually went other way. Okay, spoiler. A bit of a spoiler alert. But yeah, I didn't go for that sacrifice. I decided to play knight c5. I think that was a simple, responsible move. And now, yeah, you calculate your risks. I thought I can also take this knight and it was fine. This pawn with the knight and it was fine. So after all the trades here, yeah, this bishop is hanging. So I think maybe a good way to defend was to retreat here with the queen, but no, he moved the king away. and I'm just completely winning, he resigned in the next move. Okay, other scenario where we have to think about risk management is pawn breaks and structure changes. By advancing your pawn, you may weaken your own pawn structure or expose your king, especially if the position isn't carefully calculated. Uh, Alright, for this one I pull up a game from a recent tournament from a game that was played between Hikaru and Bishi. It starts with d4, and now we have the Rui Lopez. Okay, so a common idea is to push the d4 pawn, challenging black's pawn structure. This is a calculated risk, but without getting into much theory, this is a common idea in this one, in this line. And now, yeah, this is also another move that could have changed the structure of white's and black's pawn, but instead, e4 is played and e4 to e5. So e4 is push. I guess this is one of the yeah, so this is one of the ideas, trying to gain more space in the center with the e5 push pawn. Now, the pawn push to a5 also exposes white center slightly, which black later tries to undermine. I'm gonna skip ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead in the game to see how Hikaru undermines this structure. So there is a trade of bishop, and now, yeah, I thought this was very simple, but at the same time brilliant. f6. With f6, black is undermining this pawn structure, and so I am not gonna go through all the game, but yeah, you should always calculate what is the risk here of pushing pawns instead of keeping them as they are, because every change is gonna imply new and different risk. Okay, choosing where to castle, king side versus queen side. Castle and queen side might expose your king if there are open files or an advancing pawn storm on that side, while king side castling could make your king vulnerable if the opponent has a lot of pieces aiming at that side. So you have to see here, pay attention whether your opponent is putting all the pressure on that side. So what does that mean? And let's see an example on the board. This is one of the classic games of Robert Fischer versus Mikhail Tal. And everything starts normal as a Sicilian, an open Sicilian. Here there's a trade of pieces. White goes back with the queen. I'm gonna go forward to the moment I wanna show you. So here, wait, a survey. And now I guess you could have taken, I don't know. So yeah, this is the moment. All of black's pawns are push, and Tal decides to castle on this side of the board. So that was really risky. I feel like now white has all the mobility with this bishop. You can play around with it, even though there is some compensation. But these are also targets. These pawns are also targets, and you can reroute this rook. Maybe start pushing pawns at some point, and Bobby Fischer ends up winning this game. So I will not show you the whole game. Maybe I can, yeah, leave the link in the description or the game in the description. But yeah, this was a losing game for black, as this was really risky to put the king here. Maybe castle in the other side would have been better. I actually am gonna check out what is the okay, okay. So here we have long castle. Oh, computer thinks this is actually equal, but to me is easier to play. So yeah, it looks more practical to play with black when you're castle on the side, and at least you have some defense. Okay, let's keep it going. Next scenario, attacking versus defending moves. Sometimes retreating is the best option, or there's times where you have to go for the attack, but you should also calculate that risk. Then if your attack is unsuccessful or inaccurate, you might end up in a worse position, and yeah, my presentation ended up in a worse position. Oh, or your pieces could be out of place for defense. Okay, I will show you an example. I reckon this was from a bullet game, so I'm gonna go back. I think this is a good example of how both sides risk it all, and they had both a very attacking mind. And there's some traits here. This is the modern defense, and yeah, I would have castled this way, but no, he decided to castle this other way, which is it gives you more dynamic in the game. And I think one of the common ideas is to maybe yeah play king b1 at some point, which I don't think that it happens in this game. But okay, let's go. So to me, this pushing pawns here looks very pushy and very risky. Because you're gonna see what happens later. There's gonna be this take. Yeah, now you have this check, and maybe the best move is to just go here, as I mentioned before, king b1. But white decides to be more active with a knight jump, so we have knight f4. And again, I mean, there's times where you have to attack, or sometimes you have to defend. And in this position, activity doesn't really mean that you are better. Yeah, you should be able to balance that. And here, I think best move is to take. Maybe you can just take, but then again, it's a bullet game, so it's perfect for my example. It's not a perfect game, of course. Yeah, here, everything looks loose. Everything looks like it's hanging in this position, and all black's pieces are committed. If you look here, so here. Okay, where is this knight going? Where is this knight going? What is this rook doing here? It looks very strange. So after this, now your knight is hanging. There's how did you get out? I think best move is to go here and give a check. Probably there is a way to salvage this knight or salvage the position. You can also come in here with it. What was the position? Okay, here. So king d2 is best move, and then you you keep attacking. But yeah, this is crazy. So black's position is much better according to the computer, but it was hard to see. It was hard to see this retreating move with the queen. And instead, this was played. Oh yeah, this was played. We have king f1, then knight to d1, which is a mistake. I think this is actually a blunder. So because now you can take this knight and take this queen. So, yeah, and now white has a better winning position. So yeah, this exemplifies how you can get into riskier positions if you're not thinking about defending as well as you are thinking about attacking. So both of them are important in every game. And finally, for the end of this video, we have opening gambits. There are many. I will show you one example today. But so the scenario is some openings involve sacrificing a pawn or even pieces to gain a lead in development or open lines for an attack. We can see the Mban's Gambit, the Benko Gambit. Today we're gonna see the King's Gambit. The risk is if the opponent manages to neutralize the opening threads, you could end up at a material disadvantage without any clear compensation. So the King's Gambit, let's see it on the board. The King's Gambit is e4, e5, f4. Offers a pawn to control the center and open up attacking possibilities. But it can backfire if the opponent defends well and you are left a pawn down with a weakened kingside. So yeah, this is the opening, and if you don't know your theory well, you can lose the game very quickly. So yeah, black has the chance of giving a check here, and if you don't play knight f3 from the beginning, then yeah, you're getting into problems very quickly. So yeah, if you know the theory, go ahead. You can manage and take the risk, but be aware of that kind of risk you're taking.